you had talked about an issue where in the 90s you were approached by people claiming to be Naval Intelligence after a set of mysterious incidents. Can you elaborate for me?
I don't know what mysterious incidents that refers to. Maybe I said something about it, but I can't remember what the mysterious incidents were. But what happened was a friend of mine was contacted by somebody who said he was from Naval Intelligence, and that after a while he said, "Would you like to meet him?" I said, "Of course," So we met with the guy. He did things like show us pictures that he said were from Area 51 of strange, craft that were captured or whatever. Most of them kind of blurry, and some of them a little more distinct, but I suppose could have been photoshopped at the time or whatever. Some of them looked real. I don't know.
Were any of the pictures that you were familiar with, maybe having seen before?
No, not a one, which was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen any of them. So I think he knew that, or whoever he was working with knew that. So they wanted to, So what you find out with these people is that they will flatter your ego by saying, "You're special. We're going to tell you this thing. It is a secret, but we think you need to know." And then they can lay anything on you if you believe them, because then you're like, "Well, I must be important, so they're giving me the real stuff." And then at that point they can give you anything. Mixed with real stuff, so it doesn't sound like total BS. But he would do things like he would tell my friend, and this was the mid '90s or the early '90s when this was just revealed, when the stealth fighter was revealed. He would tell him, "Go to this airport at this time and stand at this runway," and he'd do it, and the stealth fighter would fly over. And it was barely publicly revealed at that point. So, and he'd tell us, watch the news, and this was during the Kosovo conflict. He said, "In 1 week, you will hear that this person was shot down," and it was and it would happen. So he had access to information. But the thing was, he used that to pile a whole bunch of other stuff on us, like, political stuff, mixed with UFO stuff, mixed with, I don't know what else, but it mostly had to do with UFO information. And I got, after a while of talking to this guy, I got horribly paranoid. I thought somebody he told me people could watch what I was doing on my computer, and they could look into my house and all this other stuff. And I got viciously paranoid for about a year until I made a decision to stop being paranoid because I was tired of it. But I learned a lot, from talking to this guy, and I've had hours of conversations with him about basically about the UFO subject, and it's stuff that most people talk about now, about Area 51 and about the what's going on there, the who's involved there, what companies were involved there, what defense companies were involved in the subject. Stuff that a lot of people talk about now, but back then nobody really knew it, or the rumors hadn't started. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. I think it's partially true, just like a lot of stuff he told me. But it was a really good education in when somebody from the government, or says they from the government, contacts you, you have to be really careful, because they're not contacting you because they think you're special. They think you're useful, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, so why you? Why?
Because I had a magazine, I listened to him, and I guess they thought I was ripe for whatever. Because I did publish some of the stuff he told me in the magazine, so I thought it was interesting. I didn't, but I didn't publish. I published it with caveats, like, this could be true, I'm not sure. And the guy yelled at me for it. He said, "Don't put equivocations on this." And I said, "But I haven't seen this for myself. I have to." And at that point, I think a lot of it died out because I wasn't doing what they asked me to do. Exactly.
So it's like they're maybe getting you to propagandize, or, do you feel like they were trying to get you to distribute disinformation or to slowly distribute true information?
I don't know. Maybe both. I really don't know. But if somebody holds all the cards and you're just sitting at the table there, and occasionally they give you a hand, you really don't have any choice in what it is. You either have to play or not. And if you play, you kind of have to play by the rules. And if you don't play by the rules, they kick you out of the game. You know, and
Right.
if you want to play and you want to play by the rules, and it's not too restrictive, like they're not, you know, asking you to hide bodies or anything, not like that would happen, but, you know, as an example, as an extreme example, then, you know, that's why the title of the chapter that's in is called "You Play the Game or You Get Nothing." And the same thing happened when I was working on Project Beta, the book about Paul Benowitz. I mean, I realized that I was involved in a game and that I had to play by people's rules. That doesn't mean that I passed along disinformation. It just means that I had to be somewhere where I said I was going to be and talk to the person I said I was going to talk to, and, you know, be willing to be. I probably had background checks on me. I have no idea, but as long as you can play the game without having to knowingly lie or distribute false information, I'm okay with playing that game. But I'm not going to tell other people's lies for them, at least not knowingly.
So, you know, this cloak and dagger kind of stuff is kind of like a stereotype of this whistleblower UFO stuff, but this stuff really goes on.
Yeah, it does. I don't know if it goes on so much anymore because the internet is a lot easier than having to use people. All you have to do is start throwing out stuff on the internet, and if it flatters their prejudices, they'll believe it. So you don't really need to use researchers anymore. Although I think, you know, some are maybe kind of used, but maybe they don't even know it.
Right.
And it's not, you know, I think it has a lot more to do with defense and secrets and black projects and intelligence and all that than it does with UFOs. I think the UFO subject is whoever in the government knows what's going on. They probably know what's going on, but they can't do anything about it. And if they can, we're never going to hear about that. But I think it's mostly the cover-up is they can't do anything about it, and the subject can be used for other purposes, like counterintelligence. For some people, that might be a naive view, but that's mine right now, and it has been for a while, based on the people I've talked to and the things I've seen and all that.
You know, I don't really disagree with any of that. One thing that I've been having a hard time wrapping my brain around is the Navy releasing this stuff and even admitting to it or even saying anything about it, especially saying publicly, yeah, that's real, but we don't know what it is. That seems like you're just trying to terrify the masses that you don't know what you're doing. You know, I find it all really kind of confusing. I'm
of a couple or three minds about that, and one of them is let's deal with this in a way that is more open, so that we can utilize some of the public resources for this. Two, they know exactly what's going on, but it's being used to, and this is one scenario, it's being used to scare people into bigger defense budget or whatever. And three, it's an intelligence operation where people are being told a certain thing to see how the rumors spread and how to, how people feel about it, how they comment on it. I tell you, when people come on the internet and say, "What do you people think about this?" I'm like, to me, that seems just like an obvious person gathering information. Like, what's this person's opinion? What are they thinking? What are they saying? Just so that information can be logged somewhere and used at some point. Which is why when somebody asks my opinion, unless it's a friend of mine, if they ask my opinion anonymously on the internet, I don't give it to them. I would rather not. But yeah, a show like this where everybody's listening and the host uses their real name and all that, totally fine. I'll talk about anything. But
right,
yeah, I think people should be aware of that. Just giving up too much opinion or personal information to people who they don't know, even if they do use their real names or what sounds like a real name. So, it should be like, I'll give you an example. Remember that font that came out that was supposedly Donald Trump's handwriting? Somebody found his own handwriting and made a whole font out of it and called it, stupid person font or something like that. And a bunch of my friends were like, "Look at this is so cool." And I said, "Do you think you should be downloading that? Do you know who downloads that? It's people that people with your opinion about, with a certain political opinion. So
Right.
I don't know if I'd be downloading information that's specifically politically oriented onto my own computer.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's definitely a weird day and age of the way that information is acquired.
Software, I mean, downloading software on your computer that, agrees with your politics. I don't think it's smart.
Right. I think that's the weirdest part, is that everything we read is catered to what we like already. It seems pretty stagnant.
Yeah, check out stuff that pisses you off once in a while, that you wouldn't normally check out. I think it's healthy.